Hi ADHD friends, ready to become Gutsy Cooks? Let's start now. Hi Gutsy Cooks, today we're going to make shrimp skewers. I love to have these waiting in the freezer because if I forget to take something out to thaw, you can cook seafood from frozen with either minimal thawing or no thawing. So we'll talk more about that when we talk about getting ready. You can either serve these on the skewer or pop them off, take those tails off, and add them to some pasta. Another thing we like to do is put these in the lunchbox, cold for the next day. They're a great high-protein snack that can set your brain right. So let's get started. Gather your equipment, your ingredients, and yourself. The equipment and ingredients you'll need for this recipe are up on the slide. For my 5-ingredient and under friends, there's only 4 ingredients. You'll love it. Okay, you can either pause the slide and gather your equipment and ingredients, or you can let it run. I usually throw in some tips and tricks along the way. You'll need a large, heavy bottom skillet. This needs to be wide enough to fit the skewers. You can also use a flat cooktop. That works too. Just be mindful that there is some liquid involved. You'll need a liquid measuring cup, paper towels, measuring spoons, little bowls, tongs, and a dinner or serving plate. For the ingredients, you want to have frozen shrimp skewers. You can also just use frozen shrimp, by the way. Same things apply. 1/2 cup of light olive oil, not extra virgin olive oil. Light olive oil is for cooking and can withstand the heat. Extra virgin will turn bitter on you. 1 teaspoon of garlic salt and 1 tablespoon of dried oregano. Ideally, you would thaw the shrimp in the refrigerator overnight. That would be great, especially if we're sticking to meal planning. Hey, I see that's on the meal plan for tomorrow. I'm going to put that in the fridge. However, sometimes our memories are not that great, so you can put the shrimp in a plastic bag, sealed plastic bag, immerse it in cold water for about 20 minutes, and then you would take out the skewers, rinse any ice off them, and pat them dry. And we'll be repeating that again in the get ready step. If you want to know more about this, go to fda.gov, the Food and Drug Administration, or USDA for more food safety tips. Get ready. There are a few preparation steps with this recipe. So first, if you have already thawed your shrimp, great, then we're ready to go. Otherwise, you need to wait until they have thawed in that water and that you've gotten any ice off the shrimp, and then you're going to pat them dry with paper towels. So depending on where you are with the thawing process and getting the ice off the shrimp, you may want to change around these steps a little bit. If your shrimp are ready, go ahead and place the skillet on the stovetop and turn it to medium-high heat, which is 7 to 8, and set a timer for 3 minutes. You don't want to overheat the oil, and 3 minutes should be just about right. Measure the garlic salt and the oregano into little bowls. Now, this recipe is for 10 skewers. So 10 skewers with 5 each, so that's about 50 shrimp. If you have less than that, then you're not going to use all that garlic, salt, and oregano. When I do this, I just go to town with the shaker, but I do know my Gutsy cooks sometimes tend to overseason or underseason, so I did put measurements in this. As you sprinkle it, you'll need to think about you're not using all of it all at once, and we'll talk more about that in the combine and heat steps. Once again, rinse any ice off the shrimp and pat the shrimp dry with paper towels. You want the oil to be able to penetrate the shrimp and to cook it, and the water will prevent that, the ice will prevent that. If the shrimp are wet, then your oil is going to pop. You don't want the oil to pop. That hurts if it gets your skin, and you just want a nice sizzle. Okay, pat the shrimp dry. I think I've made that clear enough now. Combine, the step where everybody feels like they're really cooking. So here we have our heated oil, and you can see my paper towel dried shrimp there. I just put it in a baking dish so that it's there and ready. So once again, you need to have a skillet that's wide enough to accommodate the size of the skewer. If you don't, as I said, you can use a flat top grill. And here we are sprinkling the garlic salt over the first side, just a little sprinkle, and the oregano. You want to decorate it up. Now you're going to do that to both sides of all of the skewers. So pace yourself with that garlic salt and that oregano. You don't want to dump it all on at once. Go ahead and take the tongs and make sure that all the shrimp have their own room. You want them to have contact with the bottom of the skillet. Heat. So after you get the shrimp in and seasoned, I want you to set a timer for 3 minutes. You're going to keep an eye on it. Once you put the oil in the skillet, remember, you are not allowed to leave the kitchen. This is not the time to do anything else. If you need something to do, wash those dishes. Wipe down a sink, but you may not leave the kitchen. As the shrimp cook over the 3 minutes, you'll see that they start to get pink, and the shrimp will start to curl up tighter even more. And with the magic of television, there are your pink shrimp. Aren't they lovely? All right, so once they're pink like that, you're going to go ahead and turn them over onto the other side with your tongs, just like that. You can see they're nice, starting to become a nice light brown color. See how nice and pink those are? And you're going to get your garlic salt and your oregano and repeat the sprinkle process. Remember, you're going to pace yourself with that salt and oregano. This is not State of the Union type stuff, guys, but I just don't want you dumping a bunch of seasonings and ruining the shrimp. So, gentle reminder, shall we say. So you're going to set the timer again after you've seasoned them for 3 more minutes. And you're going to take your tongs and separate those again. Make sure they all have their own cooking space. Right now, they're kind of all piled on top of each other there. You'll see here, I'm looking at the shrimp to see if there are any clear parts, any parts that haven't either become white or pink. And the reason I'm moving them around in the pan in a different direction is because this is a small burner, number one, that I'm using for the demonstration, but also just to make sure that those parts get evenly cooked. If you get past the 3 minutes and you still have some clear or darkish parts on your shrimp, set the timer for another 1 to 3 minutes. How much time has gone by, because you don't want to overcook and dry out the shrimp either. Once you're satisfied that they are finished, go ahead and take your tongs and remove them to the serving plate. And then you're going to get ready for your second batch. Finish and serve. So you can see here, you can just serve them just like that on a plate. And sometimes, my son asked me last night actually, he's like, why don't you take the tails off? I'm like, well, because they're frozen, number one. But you can take these off the skewer, pop off the tails, which might be nice for some younger children, or if you're going to add it to pasta or another dish. I like the flexibility that this dish provides, because even if I forget to take something out to thaw, we still have a great protein dinner. I enjoyed making these for you. My son enjoyed eating them. I hope you give it a shot. This can be a great regular go-to recipe for your pantry. Just keep these in the freezer for when you need them. All right, my ADHD friends, go get gutsy. If you like this recipe, please subscribe. Thank you for your time and attention. Now go get gutsy.